Many Christians struggle because of their perspective on sex. It's not dirty, it's not a reward, and it's not just physical. So where did you learn your perspective of sex? Is it culture? Was it silence? Maybe it was even the church talking about purity instead of its beauty. We're going to jump into this topic today. Welcome to the Married Life.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Joe.
And I'm Krissy.
Hey, welcome to The Married Life. Today we are talking about sex and a shift that so many people need to have, especially Christians that might have, even like you said, grown up in a purity culture, maybe just culture in general of thinking what is sex. Maybe they've never actually talked about it, so there's no idea what is healthy sex in my marriage. And so today we're going to talk about how we see and approach sexual intimacy God's way. Because it's not dirty.
Nope.
Unless you want it to be dirty.
Oh my.
That's up to you. And so there's a lot of wrong views of sex. Like some see sex as a reward. Like if you do good, you'll get it.
Yeah.
If I bring home flowers, if I give you a massage, if I do something, right? Mm-hmm. Pay up.
Yeah.
It's almost like people treat it more as transactional than actually something that is spiritual. Mm-hmm. And it's something just between us.
Yeah. No, that's so good. I think people use it. We do coaching. I have this conversation all of the time. If you, then I. If you, then I. If you, then I. And you say it all the time. Like there is no formula to like even be romantic with me, even to, fill up my love tank in such a way, because it's not transactional. It's relational. It's deeper than that. And so we're going to talk about that today of what is it, what isn't it? And how we can shift our perspective on it.
Yeah, because some even see sex as purely emotional, right?
I think that's the people that get mad when we talk about calendars. Oh, well, why would I have a calendar that takes, the fun out of it? That's, whatever people say.
I want to feel it.
Yeah.
It can't be scheduled.
Right.
Well, do you always feel like dating? Do you always feel like going to the gym?
Going to work?
Yeah.
Right? If we always based everything like that on feelings, we would get nothing done in life. Nothing.
And people wonder why the average couple after 10 years of marriage only has sex 2 to 3 times per month.
Yeah. That actually surprises me. I thought it'd be less than that.
Yeah. Well, that's the average couple.
Yeah.
And then there's some couples, right? Because you've coached women that it's almost like because they grew up in a purity culture, they almost see it like dirty.
Yeah.
Something they don't even want to do. Almost like they're, whether a mom, a pastor, somebody was like, ooh, stay away from that. Like, hey, let him go ahead and, take care, like enjoy it. But,
yeah. And I don't know, maybe it's like the whole idea of like, no sex, no sex, no sex, no sex. And it's hard to rewire your brain after you've been told no for so long. Like, don't think about it. Don't do it. Don't, because you're in this purity culture where it's like hard to unthink those things. Maybe it necessarily wasn't called dirty, but based on like
the way it was talked about?
The way it was like talked about or not talked about, that it becomes dirty. Yeah. And so I deal with women too that just, that's where their mindset is.
Right. And so today we're talking about shifting away from those mindsets.
Yeah.
What does God actually say about this? Well, in Genesis 2:25, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to love this scripture. Adam and his wife were both naked and they felt no shame.
Yeah.
They felt no shame.
You love this scripture.
It's my life verse.
Yeah. I'm sure it is. Yeah, but it's understanding like that is its original form. That's design. That's the word I'm looking for. And so many times, and this has a lot, this is like such a deeper topic now that I think about it. Like, culture body shames us. So it's not even the sense of like even being naked with our spouse and even talking about, like, we hate our own bodies at this point. Nothing's ever good enough. Our bodies come in trends where it's like one generation it's super skinny, one generation it's like more voluptuous, one generation, and it's like you can't just change your body type based on what's popular. And so it's like there's so much body shaming specifically for women. Yeah. So it's not even being like naked with your spouse. It's like women hate their own bodies when they're alone.
Yeah.
So how do I share that with somebody else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like even when you say negative things about yourself, I'm like, don't talk to my wife like that. Bite your tongue. But that's it. Like, because again, God designed us to be naked, nakedness without shame.
Yeah.
But sin brought shame into the world.
Yeah.
And so when we're feeling shame in our sex life, it's actually not what God intended. His covenant should restore intimacy in our marriage.
Yeah.
But when we have these past thoughts, these past, again, the way that we were brought up culturally in the church. And again, we're not bashing the church, but when the church talks about sex as something that's bad and gross, instead of like, no, it's like, how did I share this before? It's kind of like if we always say that for our kids as they're growing up, they're like, hey, driving is scary. Like, listen, it's dangerous out there. There's oncoming traffic. You're getting on the freeway. It's crazy. 6 lanes. Like, it's, instead of saying, no, like driving, there's a responsibility.
Yeah.
Because then I'm going to instill fear of driving into them. It's the same thing with sex, is that when you grow up in such a purity culture of like, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. Well, hey, now it's your wedding night. Have fun. Like, what do you mean have fun? I'm terrified to drive this thing.
Terrified. Yeah.
And that's what the purity culture, I think, did on accident, because again, we do want to be pure. We want to save ourselves for our spouse, right? But it's because this is a gift that is for you. Let's go drive. I got a stick for you to shift, girl.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
All right. So what is God's design for sex? It's not dirty. God invented it. Mm-hmm. This is not something the devil invented.
Praise
this
God.
Was God's idea. Satan distorted it, but God designed it.
Yeah.
And so he intended man and woman to be together, husband and wife to be together, that we should not be having sex before marriage. Again, that's where the devil perverted it, because then that's also where you can bring shame into your marriage, right? Guilt into your marriage, instead of actually saying, no, I'm waiting. Now, here's the thing, because some of you are like, well, I don't wait. What do I do? Again, there's a renewal as you surrender to Christ, right? You ask forgiveness, and now you bring in, say, like you cut all the soul ties, and you say, this is just between me and my spouse now. Yeah. The bedroom, right? The Bible talks about that the marriage bed is to be holy. And it's a spot. It's not a dirty spot. Like I said, unless you want to get freaky, all right? And then you get dirty and whatever you want to do, all right? Mud wrestling or whatever.
Oh my.
I know, right? Who's going to put mud wrestling in their room?
I don't know.
Not this guy.
Cleaning that up.
No. I mean, mud wrestling, I would whip your butt, because we did sock wrestling. Have you guys ever done that? Like, you saw the video where like husband and wife, you guys should do this. Do this. Go ahead. Pause the video and do this after I explain it to you.
You know what, though? I feel like it'd be a whole new thing, though. Like, we're both slippery now. Like, I feel like that, it's like a fair game.
You're like, when we're trying to rip each other's socks off, you're like,
yeah. It's like full on like muscle, compared to me.
Yeah.
But like, we're both slippery. Like,
right.
I feel like it's even.
Well, we'll try it.
No, that does not sound fun to me.
Again,
theoretically, I won.
Yeah. Hey, you guys should try it and let us know how it is. Whether the sock wrestling or mud wrestling. Sex is not a duty; it's a gift.
It is a gift. And I think this is where the enemy like perverts it, where if it was a duty, if it was something that was a duty, it wouldn't be pleasurable for both of you, right?
Yeah.
It would just be something that we use to procreate. That would be a duty.
That's good.
But because God created all of the senses, without getting like super into it, like all of the senses that he created in order for this to happen.
Yep.
And so it's like, there's parts of your body that have nothing to do with procreation that still are pleasurable.
Yep.
So it's like, this isn't just a duty. It is a gift for you to connect, for you to be together, for you to explore and do all that. That is not a duty. And I know just based on that.
Yeah. Well, you even shared a story before about somebody who has brought that up in coaching, that was a duty. And I loved your explanation, because if it is a duty, well, then he's not caring about her emotions, right?
Yeah.
Because if she's like, well, here I am, just do it. He's like, well, now I don't want to.
Well, unfortunately, it's not just one woman. So when I coach these women, and they don't like, quote unquote, feel like it, or their husband hasn't lived up to their expectation that day or that week or whatever, you might feel that way as well. And so a couple of these women would be like, I just felt like, I had to do my duty that night. And he didn't take me up on that offer. And I told them, I was like, listen, it proves my point that it is not just physical for a man. If it was, they would jump on that opportunity every single time. And that is not the case. This is where men are most vulnerable. They feel connected to you. They feel closeness to you. It would be the equivalent of me wanting to sit down on the couch, snuggle you, tell you about my day, connect with you emotionally through conversation and what happened that day. It would be the exact same thing for a man in the bedroom, but because it's different than you, you think it's just physical, and it's not. And I've been proven over and over again within my marriage coaches where the men won't take them up on their duty sex offer.
Yeah.
Because it's not what it is.
Right.
It just isn't.
It's a connection. Like you said,
It's a connection.
This is how, and again, usually, oftentimes it's the guy, but it can be the woman also.
Yeah, that's true.
But this is how one spouse connects intimately, right? This is that emotional, like you just said. This is where I connect emotionally with you. You connect emotionally with me on the couch or for a walk or over coffee or whatever. And so it's not duty. It's a place of like, really where a guy is saying, hey, I want to be super vulnerable with you, right? I'm not naked in front of anybody else. Like this is where I can be naked and unashamed and where we can connect. And you say this all the time, this is something nobody else can bring your spouse. This is just a gift. And that's the next thing is that when God designed sex, it's not optional. Like in the covenant, it's an act of oneness. This is two becoming one. And when we make it seem like, well, I'm going to hold out until he does X, Y, and Z, that's like, holding out on yourself that you're not going to eat the right thing until another part of you is doing something right.
Yeah.
Like two become one.
Yeah.
You are one now. It's again, a covenant. It's not a contract. 1 Corinthians 7, verse 3-5 says, the husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. You hear that? This is all of us meeting our marital duty. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but yields it to her husband. In the same way, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but yields it to his wife. So here I am, babe. Take it as you want.
Yeah. And people use this as control, or you can manipulate this however you want, but that's not the way it's supposed to be communicated. Here's the thing. If you are both serving each other in these areas, guess what? Both of your needs are being met. But if you guys are looking out for your own needs, neither one of you are going to get your needs met. And so focusing on servanthood, that's why you got married.
Yep.
Is because you needed somebody else to actually fulfill that in your life. But we get so caught up when our own needs aren't being met that we don't serve the other person. And you guys, if you're struggling in this area, somebody needs to jump off the hamster wheel. You can't just sit and wait for your spouse to do it.
Yep.
Somebody's got to jump off.
Yep.
If you want to restart a new cycle, get off the old cycle.
Yep.
Start something new. Start serving your spouse, not with the intention of like only getting.
Right.
But if you're truly serving, you can feel it. Right? Wives, if you know your husband wants sex that night and they're going to do a little bit, this, that, or the other thing,
do a little dance.
Whatever you guys do over there. But it's like, you can tell, wives, we can read right through it. If they want sex that night, they're going to act a little different. Because it's true. And so we do it too. We do that too. And so somebody's just jump off the hamster wheel. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you even saying that, it's like, that's why we have our online Skool community. Yeah. Because again, you can comment below and talk and all the stuff. But on Skool, you'll see a link below where you can join our Skool community for free, where we actually have community that's conversing together and talking about this stuff. And then we also have video courses. You're like, hey, I want to go up a tier. That tier actually costs money. And then we have group coaching that's live. And that's our third tier. But our first tier, our community, join it. It's free. Click the link below. But you even saying that, it's like, again, it's a mutual gift, sex. Like it really is. I don't remember who we talked about with this before, but oftentimes like as a man, so again, to the wife, you might think like, well, he just wants to get his. And a lot of times I want to make sure that you find fulfillment before I do in the bedroom. Yeah. Like I want to make sure that I take care of you. Yeah. Right. And so that's what, again, going into with that mindset, like that is the goal when we are saying that the husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife and likewise. And so we want to just make sure, again, we are shifting that this is God's design. And we want to shift the next part. We want to shift from shame and transaction to beauty and covenant. Like there should not be shame and this should not be transactional. We live in a very transactional society,
Absolutely,
right? Well, if I work hard enough, I deserve the raise. If I do X, I deserve Y. If I take out the garbage, she better notice, right? If I fill in the blank, it's very transactional. And that, and again, on the minimum, right? That, like no matter what, there will always be transaction in marriage. But when you get to that place of I love her or I love him so much, I want to do this for them.
Yeah.
I want to serve them in the home. I want to serve them by working. I want to serve them in the bedroom, whatever it is, because, and maybe it is quote unquote, when I say transactional, because how much they give for me, but I see that love again. It's not the transactional of the spot of saying, well, if they do X, then I'll do Y. It's, wow, I can see how much they love me. I want to show them how much I love them. It's what Christ did. It's agape love. It's a selfless love. Because again, when you look at the cross, it is transactional. Like Jesus paid for our sins. He loved us so much. He went to the cross, right? And again, for us to be saved, we have to say Jesus is Lord and Savior. We can't just recognize like, oh yeah, he was a good guy. Yeah, he was the Son of God. Like until we're saying he is Lord and Savior of my life, right? There's a transaction that all of a sudden my sin goes upon him and his righteousness comes upon me. Yeah. And so same thing in marriage is that we want to make sure that this is turning into something beautiful, something that's covenantal. Again, so like what you were saying earlier, like we want to shift from reward to a rhythm. Yeah. How do we shift from, well, this is a reward because I did X, Y, and Z to a healthy rhythm in life?
Well, I think when we start to understand that like intimacy is necessary. So many people talk about, well, I just feel like roommates. I feel like roommates. I feel like roommates. Well, this is a part of it. Yeah. You have to find a rhythm to make sure, here, life will push out your rhythm. Yeah. It will push out your rhythm of dating. It'll push out your rhythm of connection. I mean, everything's social media. Nothing is social. Everything is isolating. Yep. Right? So don't believe the lie. Get out of the matrix. It's not social. It's isolating, right? And so we have to like push back and say, okay, if life is naturally going to push back on my dating life, push back on my intimacy with my spouse, push back on even like think about your kids. It's going to push back on everything because you're going to be too busy. Yeah. You're going to be too tired. Life is going to suck everything out of you so that you don't have time for the important things. Yep. And so you have to go from reward to rhythm. You have to create a rhythm within your marriage and you have to fight for it. Yeah. You fought for it when you were dating.
For sure.
You fought for it. You said no to everything else because you were so in love and you had these big plans with your boyfriend and you wanted to do all these things and you sacrificed sleep, you sacrificed everything. Yep. We stopped doing that because life has pushed it out. Yep. And so you have to fight for that rhythm and not just wait for the reward.
And that leads even to number 2 is that we got to move from emotional to intentional.
Yes.
Right? Again, we were talking about this earlier, that it's not the feel like it, right? Don't wait for the perfect mood, right? Don't wait for that because it's not going to happen. You want to create space for intimacy. And this, like we were talking about earlier, that scheduling sex, it doesn't make it less spiritual, but it makes it more possible. Yeah. It makes it tangible that we can actually do this week. Because again, to your point, what you were just talking about, everything gets pushed back and out of our life. And so we have to say, I'm going to be intentional about this. I'm going to pull it back in. Yeah. And that's why we have a video. We'll link it at the end. That's all about creating a sex calendar. Like, what does it look like so many different ways to actually create this thing to be intentional with our sex drive. And then the third thing is this, we want to move from shame to sacred. Yeah. Like purity before marriage is good, but a lot of us, right? Like we're already married, right? So how do we now bring passion inside of our marriage to make it holy?
Yeah, I think for us, like when we first got married, like you talked about this purity culture, we didn't grow up in that. No. We didn't grow up in purity culture. When you dated when you dated somebody when we were younger, where we grew up, like You had sex with them. You slept with them. That was a part of the relationship naturally. And so early on in our marriage, we had to bring that sacredness back in, right? I mean, porn was a part of your upbringing. Like all of that, we had to cut those things off. We had to repent. We had to do what God has called us to do. And we had to fight for that sacredness. We had to fight for that holiness. And we still do today. There's things that you still have in place. There's things that we don't watch. There's movies, music. There's things that we hold a standard to because we just let anything in nowadays. Anything that comes at us, we just let in, not realizing and not understanding that there's a correlation, right? When you let crap in, guess what's coming out? Crap. And you wonder why your marriage is a mess and your intimacy isn't sacred and it's shameful.
Right.
It's because everything that we let in, from movies to music to culture to whatever it is, culture is full of shame. I don't care what they tell you. It's the furthest thing from sacredness. And so we fight for that. We fight for it. And so if it's important to you, you'll fight for it.
You know, even that, it's like the aspect of sex, of understanding that sex is worship to God, right? It's us thanking God for his goodness, right? He designed it. Again, thank God that he designed it. So it's a spot where you are like bringing honor to God. And again, the way that the enemy perverts it is when you do it outside of the marriage covenant. God designed this specifically for husbands and wives. And like you said, it's so true. Early in relationships, it's so easy to do it outside, and then all of a sudden we get married and everything is busy, and it's God's like, I want you to do that. I created this for you. This is a gift for you. So here's some practical steps for you guys. All right, as we're talking about this, talk openly about where you or what you were taught about sex growing up. You know, talk like what you just said. Like, we grew up in Catholicism, no shame to Catholicism, but we're Christians now. And I'm sure Catholics are like, hey, don't have sex before marriage.
It's like a purity culture, but it's what's talked about, not what is practiced.
Exactly. Whereas now it's understanding, oh, I want to be pure and holy for God, which means I know he has somebody out there for me, and I want to bring my best to them.
And I think what's really important is it's in the things that are unseen.
I
think that's, at least in the culture that we grew up, it was, if it's not seen and if it's not talked about, like, you're fine. Nobody talked about my heart. Nobody talked about the things that I was thinking, looking at in private. Like, that was never even an issue. We're talking about true purity. Everything that we think, that we see, that we look at, that we talk about, that all of that, it matters and it influences. And there might be some of you out there like, you're crazy. Like, this is too much. That's too far. That's too radical. I am telling you, if you want normal, keep going. Keep going. But it's going to be full of perversion. You're going to wonder why you're not happy. You're going to wonder why, like, you're not fulfilled in certain areas. This is why. Nobody is correlating these things of like what you're looking at over here and then what you're trying to do over here. They are directly related. You cannot separate these things. You want a good, like, we did all the things before we were married. I think our sex life is way better now than anything that we tried to do that was what the world said.
100%.
And it's because we're doing it God's way and we have boundaries.
Well, you even sharing that, because what you look at, you drift towards. So even when we're talking about purity, because you want to keep your marriage pure, you want to keep your the marriage bed pure. So what are you looking at? So even like a couple weeks ago, I was talking to Eric about this, one of my buddies, and even like at the gym, it's like when there's a chick that walks in with the itty bitty waist and that round thing in my face, I run the other way. I go to the other side of the gym. Because again, what you look at, you drift towards. Like, men, you do not, and again, women too, you do not just stumble into an affair like, oops, I tripped and landed on her lips, right? It's, no, you were looking. And you might not have been looking with intent to cheat, but you were looking. And when you gaze for so long, you begin to fantasize. And so that's why you got to move yourself. Joseph did this in the Bible, right? Potiphar's wife was like, hey, you're good looking. I run the place. let's do this. And he ran, right? We have to be running because, again, what we look at, so the more we look at our spouse, the more we drift towards our spouse's heart.
Yeah, you've said this before where like the first look is natural. The first look isn't a sin. Like men are visual creatures. You naturally see beauty. Women are beautiful, especially to men because we're so different than you.
Yes, we are disgusting.
And so it's not like, you know, I you know what I envision with those like things that horses have on. Like that's just not practical, right? That you're just like staring at the ceiling while you're walking. Like that's weird. Don't be weird. So the first look is natural. The second look is a sin.
Yeah.
The second look is when you're focusing. The second look is when you're going to start to fantasize. It's the second look.
Because you saw something you liked and you keep going back to it.
The first look is natural.
Instead of God created a beautiful woman.
There she goes.
There she goes.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Okay, so more practical steps. Okay, we're going to put this down below so you guys can talk about it. Identify lies in your marriage, right? Shame, silences that have crept in because of past. Like identify those. Choose to reframe sex as God's gift, not a duty, not a dirty secret, right? And getting practical, scheduling a sex calendar, mix planned and spontaneous intimacy.
Yeah.
We have a schedule and the other night we were spontaneous.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? Celebrate that only you can give this to your spouse. You talk about that all the time. Again, this is
I want to explain that because I feel like if you haven't heard this come from me before, that I want you to understand this is, different people are fulfilled in different ways, right? You guys know about love languages. You guys know about all the things, right? Where it's like you can get attaboys from work, from your buddies, from anybody else, right? You can receive a gift from anybody else. Like somebody wants to buy you something, go for it. Like I'll take a gift. Don't buy me a gift. I don't want it. You can, what else? Even words of affirmation, like great job, like, oh my gosh, that was amazing, or whatever. What else is there? Somebody can serve you. Quality time. All of these love languages can be met by other people. You can feel loved this way by other people. Physical intimacy is the only thing that you can receive from your spouse. It's the only thing. And instead of seeing that most people, going back to the verbiage that we're using, most people are like, I got to do this again. Instead of like, this is the only thing that I can give my spouse that nobody else can give them. And here's the thing. If you choose not to, somebody else will. Because it is a natural desire for each of you. If you don't see it as a gift, as a way to connect, as all of the things that God has created it for, somebody else will.
Yep.
Because we're naturally made that way.
Yep. And
how dare we, withhold something so special and so sacred from our spouse?
Yep.
And really, you're withholding it from yourself, really, because you have a perverted version in your mind of what it is and what it's for.
Yep.
That's not fair.
No. And listen, maybe you're like, well, we have broken trust, and that's where we're struggling with this. And that's why every Tuesday night, we actually do a webinar. I'm going to link it below, 7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Pacific time, free webinar live, where you can actually be on and learn how to build trust in your marriage again, so you can get to this place of intimacy. Yeah. So I'm going to put that link below. And then also, if you're like, hey, I want more of this, I love this, I'm going to put a video right here. And actually, the algorithm is going to say which video is best for you. So if you want more for your marriage, click this video right here.